Hello, and welcome again to another episode of 5 Minutes with Franza. I'm your host, Dr. Thomas Franza. In this episode, I'm going to show you how to use Solver Table. Okay, I'm going to be using Windows 7 and Excel 2010, but you're going to notice that with Solver Table, it doesn't matter what version of Solver Table you're using, it behaves the same way. If you want to know how to install Solver Table, please see my video on that. Also, it just should be noted, remember, you must have Solver, the add-on itself, installed and run it once before Solver Table will actually work. With that, Solver Table. I've already created a little spreadsheet for us to get started. You'll notice that because it's trying to read that file, Solver Table is a macro, I do have to enable macros. If this annoys the living daylights out of you every single time you're starting up Excel, what I recommend is go into add-ins and turn off the Solver Table add-in, and then it won't bother you anymore. Okay, and you'll notice I have my add-ins table with Solver Table. Okay, I have configured my spreadsheet pretty much like I would any other, right? We're looking at the computer gaming company and we're trying to figure out, this is a resource allocation, I only have so many hours for each plant to be able to make my desktop and my laptop computers. Okay, so first things first, when we want to solve Solver Table, we have to make sure that we have Solver configured. So I click on my objective cell and I say to Solver, I said okay, and yes, I did set it up. I'm solving for F13 so that it is a max because I want to maximize profit by changing my changing cells B and C13, subject to the constraints that the hours used must be less than or equal to the hours that are available. And I have to solve it. I've actually already solved this, so that's why it came out. But in case you don't believe me, let's do it again. Solver, everything's good, solve it, everybody's happy, there's our optimal answer. Great. So now that that's done, let's get ready to use Solver Table. Okay. Here is where I have to tell Solver Table what I want. This is a one-dimensional table. You can also use two-dimensional and three-dimensional tables, but we're just going to focus in on this one for this example. Okay. I want to know what my optimal solution is for my desktops, my laptops, and my profit. Where most students make a mistake is rather than making cell references, right, see this is equaling B13, this is equaling C13, and this is equaling F13, what students will do is they'll actually put in the numbers 4, 3, and 5800, and of course it doesn't work. And I'll make that mistake just so you can see what happens. Okay, but let's make it work right. Okay, so now that I have that there, what is it that I want to change? In this case, I want to make the hours available to me in plant 1. I want to change that from 10 to 20. So I simply come over here and I type in 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20 respectively. Great. Now that I have this, what I simply do is I want to click and drag across, so highlighting my information. I go to Solver, I go to Add-ins, Solver Table, my row or my input cell, right, this would be if it was going across this way. If it's going down this way, it's a column. So this is not a row, this is a column, and my column input cell is the hours available to me in plant 1. And I say OK. And that's it. And what Solver Table does is it runs Solver over and over and over again. So it changes this 16 to a 10, and it runs Solver, and it gives me my optimal answer. Then it changes it to 11, and it resolves it, and so on and so forth, all the way down. Let's do that again one more time. So I highlight my information, put add-ins, Solver Table. Again, a lot of students, what they'll do is they'll put row input cell, but this is not a row, this is a column. And what does it represent? It represents the hours available to me in plant 1. Now, watch, you're going to see this change very quickly from a 10 to a 20. And it went to 20, then it goes back to its original value of 16, and it fills it in. That's all there is to using Solver Table. It's pretty straightforward. Here's where a lot of students will goof. Instead of making cell references, they say equals 4, equals 3, equals 5800. And now, guess what? Now when I run Solver Table, I get 4, 3, 50, 800. Why? Because every time it reruns solver, it's giving me back exactly what is at the top of my chart. Okay, so let's fix that because we don't like. Get rid of that garbage, and let's run solver table one last time. Solver table, it's a column. It represents the hours that are available. And there you go. That's all there is to it. Again, this is a one-dimensional solver table, and that's how it works. I hope you found this episode of 5 Minutes with Franza useful. Once again, I'm your host, Dr. Thomas Franza. Thank you for watching.